once I got everything out, now I got two projects came in. This one here he just bought, it's just a two-wheel drive 350 Rancher. The carburetor leaks some gas, so I'm going to take it apart, put in the ultrasonic cleaner over there, and got a rebuild kit coming for it. It's got a new battery, new air filter. Thing runs, it just kind of sputters a little bit and leaks gas out of the drain down there. That's why there's a stick in there. So I'm guessing it's something to do with the float more or less than the screw. And then check over the winch, things like that. On this one, should be good to go. Quick little fix. On the Ranger here, he wants to get it snorkeled. I know I kind of already have a video on this on my brother-in-law's Ranger, but we're going to snorkel it up, 3 down the center, and take this plexiglass off, and yeah, might add some of these lights. But this is the one that was just in here for the U-joints and everything. Still look new. Yeah, we're gonna get to it. Okay, so got the carb out and dismantled. It's pretty crusty in there. Pretty dirty, but it's all done. I'm gonna put that, the cap, and the body in the cleaner and see how it turns out. The carb out of the cleaner, cleaned it up pretty nice. I got at the whole rebuild kit here, all the old stuff. Gonna swap over all the O-rings, everything, jets, and it should be all right. The only thing is that one right there, stripped out, but I mean it's just a little jet. It is clean though, so see what happens. Couldn't stand it, so I had to pull that out. So it's getting a little bit cramped in here, but I've got all the stuff, the stock stuff out, the tubes, the airbox, the belt intake, belt exhaust, airbox is up here in the front, or the baffle. All those are out now, so all I got to do is pull the belt and the belt housing backing off, and we'll be ready to start assembling a snorkel. The next step done on getting everything removed, like I said, the belt, backing plate and everything, because that's where it's mostly going to leak at. I am going to go with the OMC gasket on that one, because not really sure what this guy kind of riding is at first. You know, I don't think he's too serious, like he's not going to be going real deep, so I'm just going to throw that one on there. That way you can remove it, service it. We've had good luck on Kevin, so we're going to try that again. But what's next? Of course, we're going to do 3 snorkels up through the center, so the bed has got to be cut. Next on the agenda will be to dielectric grease all the plugs and vent lines, and then we'll start getting to the actual PVC and sealing. I like to keep the stock tube for the intake routed. I'm not going to take that out, because if you ever need to run wires from the back to the front, it's a great channel to shove your wires and everything else, you know, for a channel to the front where you don't have to worry about it or take apart much. So back at it again tonight. This snorkel is definitely a little bit different than the previous one I did, the 2010. This is a 2013. The airbox is a different design. You can't just twist this one like the other one. The intake is at the bottom. So I'm still going to keep up with the 22.5 to 22.5, and then that will raise up. For the airbox, I cut the stock fitting down there, or the stock rubber tube. Cut that, use the other end for right here. So there's a straight 90 to another straight 90. With that one, the curve is just right for it, and I'm gonna go up from there. So along with using some of the stock parts there, I've got everything lined out for what I need to start snorkeling it, and we're gonna put it together. A lot of people want to know what I use, or what's the most common thing is to use to attach to a belt. It's gonna be the Fernco 2-inch. You can go 2 to 2. This is 2 to 1.5, and you just have to take this clamp all the way off and stretch it pretty far over, and it will go onto the stock player's belt exhaust. Okay, so I got a little issue on installing this clutch. I wanted to go put it on, and I noticed a big old crack in the primary. What I think happened was that the thing got hot, and he says that water did get into it, and of course with the heat of the belt and everything, it cracked. The water cooled it down too fast and it cracked. The reason why I think, I mean, and if it was my mistake, I would own up to it, but if you can tell down there right where the belt rides in neutral, there is material packed into the crack, which means that it hasn't been, it's not new. It's not new, but I do think when I pulled it off, it either came the rest of the way. I mean, I use a Polaris OEM primary puller, and I pulled off hundreds of these. So, anyways, that's cracked. It's not good. I do actually happen to have another one off of Kevin's Razor 570. All the part numbers match between these two parts and these two parts, and also the oh, I forgot what you called that. Anyways, the only thing I'll have to swap over is the tops, the weights, the rollers, and that's about it. And then he will be back in business with this clutch, fully ready to go. So roughly here is where we are going to have them. With this one in there and tight, it's going to come up just to the right. This middle one will then be connected right there and over, like so. Once I'm right about there, of course, all these will be done right. Came down with a 45 to a piece, into another 45, long 90, short 90, and then into one more 90 to the Fernco. Pure stock, 22.5 up, 22, and routed. When these are all said and done, that'd be going that way. And done just right. Might swap up a little something here and there, but using some of the stock things, it is turning out just right. Next we'll get to vent lines. I got all the snorkel pieces mocked out, lined up. Now just going to go through and glue them. This one here is for the air box. Then we have the belt intake and the belt exhaust. And he did go ahead and agree to get the clutches swapped, so that is what I'm going to do next. Like I said, I got to take all the stuff out and put it in here, and we'll be ready to start putting everything back together. So what I do for the coolant overflow while this is drying is get one of these fittings from Lowe's. It's the brass with threaded barb on the end. Take your cap, drill it out to 3/8. Get your tap it out for the threads. Thread in there till it's flush like that. I'll take my line, run it up, run about 5-6 loops, route it down. That way it creates an air pocket so nothing can get in there, but it can still overflow and doesn't need to be ran all the way up at the top of your snorkels. Been running that setup on my Razor for a long time and it's worked perfectly. So I'm going to get ready to swap all the weights, springs, and clutches from this one to this one. Sorry this is the angle you get. I don't want you guys looking at my six-pack the whole time. You know, it's just uncomfortable for me. Okay, so there is everything off. This stuff needs to go on this one, and this is just going to be a spare for who knows what. That's what I thought about this one, and it's coming handy. So we're going to clean up the pins, the weights, and the spring, clean up the whole clutch itself, and get it all put back together. Be ready to go back in. Okay, so before I leave for today and come back tonight and start working on it, I unboxed the 2-inch lift kit that we're going to be putting onto the Ranger here. And I gotta say, I am thoroughly impressed with this lift kit. Everything, the powder coat looks amazing. All the brackets are way thicker than I previously remember the lift kits. It comes with every component, and it comes with the tie rods to help with the angle of the steering, of course. New boots, new tie rods, new ends, the diff plates to up the diff for the angle. All the brackets, sway bar extensions, and all the hardware completely packaged. Like I said, I'm very excited to install this one here. The tie rods, of course, hopefully these are a little bit better than, I mean, that's the only flaw in separated TV is the tie rods. I've done videos on replacing these, which I might put in different ones if I have them, I'm not sure. But it's definitely going to get them by. So when I come back tonight, we're going to install this. Okay, so I went to install this lift kit, and just right off the bat, just loosening up the sway bar here, I noticed that the sway bar is actually cracked all the way down. It's cracked right around the edge right here in that whole seam. That's why when I was turning it, I was noticing how loose it was. I mean, I'm going to tell him I mean, it's the seam is actually all the way. I don't even see that. It's a perfect seam all the way down. Perfectly broke. I mean, he's not gonna be happy just because his clutch was kind of the same way. Didn't really know it. I mean, look, it's the whole thing all the way. It's cracked. It's even probably broke down on this end, or about to be. Oh well. I mean, I guess it's just what happens when you use it, and stuff happens. Kind of piling up now. I don't know if he's ever taken anywhere else, but I'm just kind of noticing everything. Gotta pay to play.